Now let us start with the lesson 2.5 of play part first. In last video you will see that how the thief give the excuses about how he complained towards the king, my partner, and that honest worker Theus, he had died because of not only any other person, the merchant's fault. He made the weak wall for killing us. That time, what kind of the suggestion, what kind of the decision given by the king, we can look from that part. Now start. King fetched the merchant at once, a life for life. The merchant must be hanged. The third guard leaves and return with merchant who bows before the king. So merchant has to be, king has to be give the order to the third guard brought or call the merchant, and that will be punished for life. He will be hanged. in मराठी. राजाला व्यापार ताबडतोब शोधून आणा. प्राणासाठी प्राण. त्या व्यापाऱ्याला फाशी दिलीच पाहिजे. तिसरा पहारेकरी जातो आणि व्यापाऱ्याला घेऊन येतो आणि राजासमोर मुजरा करतो. मर्चंट. Mercy, O king noble, I had no intention of killing this skillful professional. It is not my fault that wall of my house collapsed. My house has been recently built. It is the fault of the bricklayer who carelessly built such a weak wall. So, what kind of the suggestion or what kind of excuse given by the merchant to the king? So, I had no intention to kill the professionals thieves, but the particularly that house has to be collapsed because of my house was recently built. The fault of bricklayer who carelessly built such kind of the walls. That's why the wall has to be collapsed and that thieves died. हे महान राजा, कृपा कर. या कुशल धंदेवाईकांना मारण्याचा माझा हेतू नव्हता. माझ्या घराची भिंत पडली हा माझा दोष नाही. माझं घर नव्याने बांधलेलं आहे. निष्काळजीपणाचा अशी कच्ची भिंत बांधणाऱ्या गवंड्याचा हा दोष आहे. King, bring the careless bricklayer immediately. He must hang for his fault. Second guard leaves and returned with the bricklayer. The second guard went from that particular place and calling to the bricklayer, and he hung in front of the king and returned. O bricklayer, O most king lord and king, kneeling to the king, have mercy. I beg you, don't send me to the gallows. I agree that I built a wall which collapsed and killed a man, but it is not due to my carelessness. The mortar which is used to lay to brick was very poor quality. There was too much water mixed in it. It is the mortar maker's fault. So, what kind of the particularly reason given by the bricklayer, and how the king can listen that the particular suggestion reason given by the bricklayer. Oh Lord King, please I beg you, don't send me hang on me. The walls has to be collapsed and that man killed it. That is not my fault. So it is not my carelessness. The mortal makers, he make the very poor qualities, and that's why there is much of water mixed it. Entire mortar makers fault. राजा त्या गवंड्याला ताबडतोब हजर करा. त्याच्या गुन्ह्याची त्याला फाशी झालीच पाहिजे. दुसरा पहारेकरी जातो आणि गवंड्याला घेऊन येतो. गवंडी राजापुढे गुडघे टेकून, अति दयाळू देवा महाराज, दया करावी. मी भीक मागतो. मला सुळावर चढू नका. मी बांधलेली भिंत पडली आणि एक माणूस मेला हे मान्य आहे, पण माझ्या निष्काळजीपणाचं झालेलं नाही. विटा लावण्यासाठी मी जो चुना वापरला आहे तो अगदी हलक्या प्रतीचा होता. त्यात पाणी खूप पाणी मिसळलं गेलं आणि पूर्णपणे चुना बनवण्याचा दोष आहे. King summoned the mortar's maker at once. He must pay for his life for his thoughtlessness. First guard exit and return the mortar maker's son, who rushes through himself before the king's. So immediately king has to be calling to the mortar maker, and he pay for the life of thieves without delaying. The first guard went and returned with mortar maker. Mortar maker, willing loudly, "Forgive me, O merciful king. Please don't hang me to death. I have a wife, 2 young children who will look after them." So that mortar maker requested to the king, "Please do not hang me to the death. I have wife and 8 children who will look after." In Marathi. त्या चुना बनवल्याला लगेच बोलून आणा. त्याच्या अविचारीपणाची किंमत त्याला प्राण देऊन मोजावेच पाहिजे. पाहायला पारेकडे जातो. चुना बनवल्याला घेऊन येतो आणि धावत येतो आणि राजापुढे लोटांगण घालतो. चुनेवाला मोठे आक्रोशन करीत, "क्षमा करा दयाळू राजे, मला फाशी देऊ नका. मला बायको मुली आहेत, त्यांच्याकडे कोण बघेल?" किंग, "युअर केअरलेसनेस हॅज कॉस्ट अ लाईफ. यू मस्ट पे विथ युअर लाईफ." Mortar maker, "No, no, my royal lord, I am not to blaming. The pot which I used pour water into the mortar. I had extraordinary large mouth. It excessive water poured down into the mortar mixture, and I was helpless. It was the potter's fault for making such useless pots." So at that time, the mortar makers given the one kind of the reason. So, "My real lord, do not blame me. Whichever the pot I uses to making the mortars, there is the extra large mouth, and that's why excessive water pouring into mixing the mortar makers, and it is not my fault. It is the fault of potters to use this useless pot he made." अरे, तुझ्या निष्काळजीपणामुळे एकाचा प्राण गेलाय, त्याची किंमत तुझ्या प्राण्याने दिली पाहिजे. चुनेवाला, "नाही नाही महाराज, मी दोषी धरू नका. ज्या भांड्यातून मी चुन्याचं पाणी ओततोय त्याच तोंड जास्त मोठं होतं, त्यामुळे चुन्याच्या मिश्रणात जरा जास्तच पाणी पडलं आणि मला नाही झाला. हा त्या निरुपयोगी भांडे बनवणाऱ्या कुंभाराचा दोष आहे." "Let the potter be brought here at once. He must be executed for molding such a useless pot." Fourth guard leaves and returns with the potters. So there is an king order to the one fourth guard, and fourth guard immediately went towards the potter's house, and he calling to that particular in front of the king. In Marathi. राजा कुंभाराकडे ताबडतोब येथे आणायला लावतो. अशी निरुपयोगी भांडे बनवण्याची शिक्षा झालीच पाहिजे. चौथा पारेकरी कुंभाराला घेऊन येतो. The potter, cowering before the king, "Your Majesty, show mercy at the humble potter. I am agree that made and sold the mortar maker was the defective one, but I am not guilty as I was molding that pot. I heard the sweet delicate tinkling of anklet. It was the moneylender's daughter. She distracted me just as I was shaping the mouth of it became too wide. So whenever I made that particular pot, that time there is the sweet delicate twinkling anklet. I listened and I distracted there. After that, the mouth of that pot became the wide. That's why this is not my fault," said by the king. Said by the potter to the king. तर कुंभार राजापुढे जाऊन, "आदरणीय महाराज, कुंभाराला दया करावी. मी घडलेलं चुनेवाल्याला विकलेलं ते भांडं चांगलं नव्हतं हे कबूल करतो, पण मी दोषी नाही. मी जेव्हा ते भांडं घडत होतो तेव्हा पैंजणाचा गोड नाजूक आवाज मी ऐकला, आणि सावकाराच्या मुलीचे पैंजण तो आवाज होता. त्याच्यामुळे भांड्याच्या तोंडाला आकार देताना माझं दुर्लक्ष झालं आणि मोठं थोडं मोठं ते भांड्याचा आकार झाला आणि त्याच्यामुळे तो जे भांडं विकलं गेलं त्याच्यामुळे कदाचित ती चुनेवाल्याचं विटा बनवण्याचं काम त्याच्यात जास्त पाणी ओतलं गेलं असावं. सो हाऊ द होल पर्सन्स, मर्चंट्स, potter maker and particular money lender, that mortar makers, bricklayers, that all man gives the different excuses and they save their lives. And king also listen everything. राजा कशा पद्धतीने ऐकतो, कशा पद्धतीने ते सगळे एकमेकांचं नाव सांगतात आणि राजा ऐकतो आणि किती वेळ राजा ही सगळ्या गोष्टी ऐकतो आणि कोणाला पनिशमेंट देतो, शिक्षा देतो, हे आपण पुढच्या व्हिडिओमध्ये बघणार आहोत. सो लेट अस स्टॉप हिअर विथ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर लेसन अँड पॅरेग्राफ्स. थँक्यू.